Vietnam will surprise you in the best possible ways if you know what you are walking into. My name is Sin. I was born and raised here in the mountains of Sapa in northern Vietnam. For 15 years, I have been guiding international travelers through rice terraces, highland villages, and trails that most tourists never find on their own. In that time, I have watched visitors make the same avoidable mistakes over and over, not because they are careless people, but simply because nobody gave them honest local information before they arrived. This video is that information. 13 things you should never do in Vietnam, covering safety, culture, law, money, and mountain etiquette. No generic travel blog advice, just what I have learned from 15 years on the ground here. Let us get into it. Tip number 1, never exchange money at the wrong place. The Thia trap. The very first mistake many visitors make in Vietnam happens before they even leave the airport. They exchange money at the airport counter and think they have handled it. Here is the reality. Airport exchange counters in Vietnam and many hotel front desks offer exchange rates that can be 5 to 10% worse than the market rate. On a trip budget of $1,000, that is $50 to $100 lost before you have eaten a single meal or taken a single taxi. The Vietnamese currency is the Dong VND. As of recent years, $1 is worth approximately 24,000 to 25,000 Dong. €1 is in a similar range. The numbers are large, and that unfamiliarity is exactly what makes it easy to hand over more than you should without realizing it. Here is what I tell every traveler in my groups. Exchange only a small amount at the airport, just enough for your taxi or Grab ride to the city, enough to get you through the first 2 hours. Then, once you are settled, find a reputable gold and foreign exchange shop known in Vietnamese as a Tiệm vàng. These licensed jewelry and gold shops are legally authorized to exchange currency and typically offer rates very close to the interbank rate, far better than airports or hotels. In Hanoi, the Hang Bach Street area in the Old Quarter has multiple reputable exchange shops. In Ho Chi Minh City, Nguyen Hue Walking Street and the Ben Thanh Market area have established well-reviewed options. In Sapa town, there are 2 or 3 reliable exchange points that my team can point you to directly. ATMs are another solid option. Vietnamese ATMs connected to international networks, Vietcombank, Techcombank, and BIDV are among the most reliable, will give you the interbank rate. The main cost is your own bank's international withdrawal fee, which is typically fixed per transaction. To minimize that fee, withdraw larger amounts less frequently rather than small amounts repeatedly. One specific warning: never exchange money with individuals who approach you on the street offering a better rate. This scam is well documented in Vietnamese tourist areas. The techniques used include counting out bills quickly to confuse, switching the stack before handing it over, or giving you counterfeit notes. The rate they offer may sound appealing. Walk away. Also be aware of the old versus new polymer banknotes. Vietnam has phased out some older series of notes, and very old bills may not be accepted at all establishments. If you receive notes that look unusually worn or faded during an exchange, ask to swap them. A reputable exchange point would have no problem doing this. Tip number 2, never underestimate Vietnam weather, especially in the north. Most people hear Southeast Asia and picture tropical heat. Vietnam is far more complicated than that. Vietnam stretches across 15 degrees of latitude from the tropical south near Ho Chi Minh City all the way up to the northern highlands where I live, close to the Chinese border. The climate difference between north and south is dramatic, and within the north, the difference between lowland Hanoi and highland Sapa is dramatic. Again, up here in Sapa, temperatures regularly drop below 0 Celsius at night in December and January. We have frost on the trails. We have snowfall on the Hoang Lien Sun Range. Visitors who arrive in flip-flops and a light jacket because they Google Vietnam weather and saw an average temperature number are in for a very cold and sometimes dangerous surprise on the mountain trails. Even in Hanoi, much lower in altitude, the winter cold is sharper than the numbers suggest. Vietnamese homes are not insulated the way European or North American homes are. There is no central heating. 10 degrees Celsius inside a concrete building with no insulation and damp air feels far colder than 10 degrees in a well-sealed Scandinavian apartment. The central coast around Hoi An and Da Nang has its own rhythm entirely. The rainy season there runs October through December, and annual flooding in that period can be significant. My advice: research the specific region and specific month you are traveling to, not Vietnam in general. For Sapa and Northern Highlands, always bring warm layers, even in spring and autumn. A waterproof jacket is non-negotiable on mountain trail year-round. And check a local Vietnamese weather forecast, not a generic travel app within 48 hours of any outdoor activity. Tip number 3, do not drink the tap water, but here is the full picture. Do not drink tap water directly in Vietnam. This is true in cities, in rural areas, and in mountain communities alike. The issue is not the treatment plant's municipal water in major Vietnamese cities is treated. The issue is the distribution infrastructure. The pipes that carry water from treatment plants to your faucet are old in many areas, and contamination can be introduced along the way. The result is that what comes out of your tap may not meet safe drinking standards, even if what left the plant did. Filtered drinking water is cheap and available everywhere. A 1.5-liter bottle costs between 5,000 and 10,000 dong at any convenience store, less than 50 US cents. Most guest houses and hotels provide filtered water dispensers or sealed bottles in rooms. Use them. What you do not need to worry about: showering, brushing your teeth, and washing fruit and vegetables with tap water is completely safe. If you swallow a small amount while showering, nothing will happen. The risk is specifically from drinking it. On multi-day treks in the Sapa Highlands, my team always carries water purification tablets and a filter pump. Mountain streams here can look pristine, and in some sections they are but agricultural activity. Higher on the slopes means you should never assume stream water is safe without treatment. We handle this for every group, but if you are trekking independently, carry your own filtration. Tip number 4, never fly a drone without permission. Vietnamese aviation law is strict. Vietnam is one of the most visually stunning countries on earth, and it is completely understandable that travelers want to capture its landscapes from the air. But flying a drone in Vietnam without the proper permits is illegal, and the consequences of getting caught are serious enough that this section deserves your full attention. Vietnam Civil Aviation Authority regulates drone use under Decree 36 and subsequent amendments. The core rules are as follows. Drones weighing more than 250 grams require registration with the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam before use. Flying drones in restricted zones, which include areas within 8 kilometers of any airport, all military zones, government facilities, border areas, and many national parks, is prohibited without explicit authorization. Authorization, where available, requires an application submitted in advance through official channels, typically involving documentation in Vietnamese, proof of insurance, and a technical assessment of the drone. The practical reality for most travelers is this: the bureaucratic process for obtaining a drone flight permit in Vietnam is time-consuming and not reliably completed within the time frame of a typical tourist visit. Many travelers arrive having researched this and decide to fly anyway and hope for the best. I want to be very direct. This is a genuine risk. Drones have been confiscated by authorities at checkpoints, at national park entrances, in ethnic minority village areas, and near border zones, including parts of the Lao Chai province where Sapa is located. Fines for unauthorized drone flight range from several million to tens of millions of Vietnamese dong. In more serious cases involving restricted zones, equipment has been permanently confiscated and individuals have faced extended questioning by authorities. This is especially important to understand in the context of highland trekking. The Hong Lien Son mountain range, where we guide groups, includes areas that are classified as national park and border adjacent zone. Flying a drone in these areas without a permit is not a gray area, it is a clear legal violation. If aerial footage of Vietnam is a priority for you, there are legal paths. Drone under 250 grams, the DJI mini-series is the most common example, have a simpler registration process. Commercial drone operators based in Vietnam who are properly licensed can apply for shoot permits, and hiring one for specific locations is an option for professional or serious content creators. Some established tour operators also have relationships with local authorities that facilitate legitimate aerial permits for specific filming activities. My recommendation: before packing your drone for Vietnam, contact the Vietnamese embassy or a licensed aviation consultant in Vietnam to get current information on requirements, because regulations in this area have been updated several times in recent years and will likely continue to evolve. Do not rely on blog posts or YouTube videos that may be a year or two old for your legal guidance on this topic. Tip number 5, never criticize the government or photograph military sites. This is the most legally serious item on this list, and I want to speak about it directly. Vietnam is a single-party socialist state governed by the Communist Party of Vietnam. Publicly criticizing the government, its leadership, or national heroes such as President Ho Chi Minh is not protected speech in Vietnam the way it might be in Western countries. Article 117 and 331 of Vietnam Penal Code criminalize acts deemed to propagandize against the state or abuse democratic freedoms against state interests. Foreign nationals are subject to these laws. There have been documented cases of foreign visitors being detained and questioned, and in some cases deported for social media posts made while inside Vietnam that were critical of the government. Keep political opinions about Vietnam's governing system to yourself while you are in the country. Private conversation in your accommodation is one thing. Public statements, social media posts with location tags, and public debates with locals are genuinely risky. Photographing military facilities, naval installations, border checkpoints with active military presence, and government buildings with visible security personnel is also prohibited. Do not do it. And if you are uncertain whether a building is a government or military facility, err on the side of not photographing it. Beyond the legal dimension, I want to offer some cultural context. For many Vietnamese families, especially those who lived through the American War, the French colonial period, or the earlier conflicts. The national heroes are not political abstractions, they are personal. Families lost fathers, grandfathers, uncles in those struggles. The patriotism you encounter in Vietnam is genuine. When you approach that history with curiosity and respect, Vietnamese people will share it with you in extraordinary depth. When you approach it with casual dismissal, you close every door. Tip number 6, always remove your shoes before entering a Vietnamese home. If a Vietnamese family invites you into their home, and they will, because Vietnamese hospitality is one of the most remarkable things about this country. The first thing you need to do is remove your shoes at the door. You will not need to be told. Look at the entrance of any Vietnamese home and you will see it immediately. A row of sandals and shoes lined up neatly outside or just inside the front door. That is your signal. Vietnamese family life is floor-oriented. Hot pot dinners happen sitting cross-legged on floor mats. Children play on the floor. Elderly family members rest on the floor because it is comfortable for them. The floor is a living surface, not just a surface to walk on. Bringing the outside world in on your shoes is a genuine intrusion. This custom carries even more weight in highland ethnic minority homes in the Sapa region. Among the Among, Dao, and Tay communities, the home contains the family altar, ancestor offerings, and sacred objects. The respect shown at the doorstep communicates your entire character as a guest. Practical tip: on trekking days, bring a lightweight pair of slip-on sandals for village visits. Lace-up hiking boots are excellent on the trail but time-consuming at the doorstep. The communities you visit will notice the effort. Tip number 7, never misuse chopsticks at the Vietnamese table. 2 specific chopstick behaviors carry deep cultural meaning in Vietnam that goes far beyond ordinary table manners. First, never stick your chopsticks upright into a bowl of rice. This is the image of incense sticks placed in a rice offering bowl at a funeral, a ritual for honoring the dead. Doing it at a family dinner table is not just awkward, it is genuinely unsettling for your host in a way that is difficult to articulate unless you grew up with those rituals present in your daily life. Second, do not knock your chopsticks against the rim of your bowl. In Vietnamese tradition, this sound is associated with beggars soliciting food, and in folk belief, it is said to call wandering spirits to the table. Whether or not your specific host holds these beliefs literally, the association is embedded deeply enough in the culture that the behavior creates discomfort. When not in use, rest your chopsticks horizontally across your bowl or on a chopstick rest if one is provided. When serving food to an elder, use the handle end of your chopsticks, the end that has not been in your mouth, or use serving chopsticks if available. Wait for the eldest person at the table to begin before you start eating. Vietnamese meals are communal. Dishes come to the center of the table and everyone shares. Serve others before yourself. Refill teacups when they are empty. These gestures communicate that you understand the social meaning of the meal, and Vietnamese hosts respond to that understanding with extraordinary warmth. Tip number 8, eat street food but know how to choose the right stall. This tip is framed differently from the others. The mistake here is not eating street food skipping. Vietnamese street food would be one of the great regrets of any trip to this country. The mistake is eating it without understanding how to identify which stalls are safe and which one carry real risk. Vietnamese street food is extraordinary. Banh mi from a sidewalk cart, a bowl of pho from a plastic stool at 6 in the morning, bun bo hue, chao lao in Hoi An, bun XEO sizzling in a pan the size of a small satellite dish. These are not compromises. Compared to restaurant dining, they are the real thing, eaten the way Vietnamese people actually eat. But foodborne illness from street food is a real risk, and it can derail several days of your trip. Here is how I assess a street food stall before eating from it. Volume is the single most reliable indicator of safety. A stall with 10 Vietnamese locals eating at it right now is almost certainly safe. Those people live here. They are not eating somewhere that will make them sick. A stall in a tourist area with beautiful signage in English but no local customers is a much higher risk proposition. Watch how cooked food is handled. Food that is cooked to order in front of you and served immediately is the lowest risk. Food that has been sitting out pre-cooked in warm weather for an indeterminate period is the highest risk. This is especially true for meat dishes and anything with egg or shellfish. Avoid raw vegetables and fresh herbs that may have been washed in tap water. In most established restaurants and busy street stalls, this is not an issue. They use filtered water for washing produce. But in very rural areas or at isolated stalls, this is worth considering. Ice in drinks, in cities and established cafes and restaurants, commercial ice made from filtered water is standard. In rural markets and remote village areas, skip the ice. In Sapa and the Northern Highlands, the local food scene is a world unto itself. Thang Ko, a highland stew with a complex history among the Hmong people. Khom lamb sticky rice steamed inside a bamboo tube over an open fire. Grilled corn at the Saturday night market. These are not tourist versions of Vietnamese food. These are the real flavors of this region. And trying them is one of the reasons to be here. Tip number 9. Crossing the street in Vietnam, the technique that actually works. Vietnamese traffic is one of the most discussed and most feared aspects of visiting this country. Here is the honest, practical guidance that will get you across any street in Vietnam without incident. Vietnamese motorcycle traffic operates on a fluid logic, not a binary stop-go system. Vehicles move around pedestrians the way water moves around a stone. They anticipate your position and adjust. The system works, but only if you are predictable. The worst thing you can do is freeze, bolt, or change direction suddenly. Drivers read your trajectory and speed constantly. When you move unpredictably, you break the calculation they are making about where you will be in 2 seconds. The technique: step off the curb calmly and make your intention clear by moving forward at a slow, steady, consistent pace. Raise one hand toward oncoming traffic as a signal. Do not accelerate, do not stop, do not change direction. Keep moving at that same pace. Traffic will flow around you. This is not bravado, it is the system working as designed. Traffic lights exist and are expanding in Vietnamese cities. Use them, but even at a green pedestrian light, motorbikes may be turning through your path from side streets. Never assume a green signal makes you invisible. In Sapa and mountain road areas, traffic is lighter, but the roads have different hazards. Narrow lanes, agricultural trucks, and in wet season, slippery surfaces from mud and mist. Walk facing oncoming traffic on mountain roads. Step fully off the road when large vehicles pass. Tip number 10, protect your belongings without letting fear ruin the trip. Vietnam is safe by global standards. Violent crime against tourists is rare, but opportunistic theft, bag snatching, and pickpocketing does happen in specific, well-documented situations. Motorbike bag snatching is the most reported issue, concentrated in Ho Chi Minh City and to a lesser extent Hanoi. The pattern A motorbike pulls alongside a pedestrian, a passenger grabs the bag, they accelerate. 3 seconds. Keep your bag on the side away from the street. Use a crossbody bag that sits against your chest. Do not walk while looking at your phone, with it fully visible and extended. Pickpocketing happens most in very crowded tourist areas during festivals and at packed markets. Use a money belt or inner pocket for your passport and most cash. Keep only immediate spending money accessible. Divide cash between two locations so one theft does not wipe you out. Keep this in. The vast majority of visitors to Vietnam have zero negative incidents. Most Vietnamese people you interact with are honest and genuinely try to help tourists. Do not let a category of risk that represents a tiny fraction of interactions turn every local who approaches you into a suspect. That vigilance ruins trips and insults good people. Tip number 11, understand Vietnamese tipping culture. It is not what you expect. Tipping in Vietnam is one of those topics that confuses visitors from every direction. Some come from tipping cultures where 20% is a social obligation and they tip everything automatically. Others come from countries where tipping is considered slightly offensive and they avoid it entirely. Neither approach is perfectly calibrated for Vietnam. Here is the honest picture. Tipping is not a built-in expectation in Vietnamese culture the way it is in the United States. Vietnamese service workers in restaurants, in markets, at guest houses are not depending on tips to make up a below minimum wage the way American service staff often are. A bill at a Vietnamese restaurant represents the full price of the service. Not tipping is not a social violation. However, tipping is increasingly common in the tourism sector. It is always appreciated, and for workers whose income depends heavily on international visitors, it can make a meaningful difference. Think of tipping in Vietnam as a genuine expression of gratitude for exceptional service, not an obligatory tax on every transaction. For a restaurant meal, rounding up the bill or leaving 10,000 to 50,000 dong on the table for good service is a warm and appreciated gesture. For upscale restaurants catering to international visitors, 5 to 10% is becoming more common and is generally appropriate. For tour guides, including trekking guides in Sapa, tipping is genuinely appreciated and has become a normalized part of the industry. A guide who has spent a full day or multiple days ensuring your safety, translating cultural nuances, navigating terrain, and making sure your experience is excellent is someone whose effort you can acknowledge directly. For a day trek, 100,000 to 200,000 dong per person, roughly $4 to $8 is a reasonable and appreciated tip. For multi-day treks, 200,000 to 500,000 dong per day per guide reflects the extended commitment of effort. For hotel, housekeeping, spa staff, and airport porters, small tips of 20,000 to 50,000 dong are a kind acknowledgement of physical work that often goes entirely unrecognized. One important note, tip in Vietnamese dong, not in your home currency. Receiving a US dollar or a euro is not straightforwardly useful to someone who needs to exchange it at a bank during working hours. Dong is immediately useful. Tip number 12, dress respectfully at religious and cultural sites. Vietnam's spiritual landscape is rich and layered. Buddhism is the dominant formal religion, but Vietnamese spiritual life also includes Taoism, Confucian ancestor veneration, indigenous animist traditions, and in the highland communities of the North, a complex system of beliefs tied to land, seasons, and the mountain spirit world. When you enter a temple, pagoda, communal house, or village shrine, you are not entering a museum. You are entering a functioning place of active worship. The dress code reflects that. Shoulders covered, knees covered, nothing excessively form-fitting or revealing. Many pagodas provide sarong wraps at the entrance for visitors who arrive underprepared. Use them without complaint. Inside the sacred spaces, lower your voice. Do not photograph people in active prayer without explicit permission. Do not point your feet toward altars or religious images. The feet are considered the lowest part of the body in Vietnamese tradition, and pointing them at objects of reverence is disrespectful. Sit cross-legged or with legs tucked to the side. In ethnic minority villages on highland treks, some trees, rock formations, and forest areas are considered spiritually protected by the community. I brief all visitors before we enter these areas. Do not touch, damage, or remove anything from sites that local communities indicate as sacred. These protections are not superstitions for tourists to dismiss. They are living elements of a worldview that has sustained these communities for generations. Tip number 13, travel Vietnam with an open heart, not a checklist. This final point is the foundation on which everything else in this video rests. Vietnam is not a perfect country. I say this as someone born here, who has spent my whole life in these mountains, and who loves this place with the kind of love that only comes from truly knowing somewhere. Vietnam has real challenges: infrastructure gaps, pollution, economic inequalities, and a pace of modernization that is affecting traditional communities in ways that are sometimes difficult to witness. If you come expecting Vietnam to perform a version of itself that matches your Instagram feed, you will miss what is actually here. The dirt on the market street and the lotus flower growing from the pond mud are not contradictions. They are the same thing. When something surprises you, the traffic, an unfamiliar smell, a village that is poorer than you expect, a situation more complicated than your guidebook described, resist the instinct to compare it unfavorably to home. Ask instead, what does this difference reveal about a completely different way of solving the problems of human life? That question, asked with curiosity rather than judgment, is the beginning of real travel. The travelers who have the most transformative experiences here are not the ones with the best cameras or the most itinerary planning. They are the ones who say yes when a local family invites them to sit down and eat after knowing them for 3 minutes. They are the ones who sit with a Hmong grandmother under a persimmon tree and do not rush the moment because there is another viewpoint to photograph. Come with patience, respect, and the willingness to be occasionally confused. Vietnam will give you some of the most generous, beautiful, and genuinely life-expanding experiences available anywhere on Earth. Bonus special rules for travelers coming to Sapa and the Northern Highlands. Because this channel is based here in Sapa, a few extra notes specific to this region. Only use registered trekking guides for highland routes. Parts of the Sapa region require official permits, and trails pass through ethnic community land that is restricted to authorized operators. Unregistered guides put both you and the communities at legal and financial risk. Community-certified guide services ensure your fees benefit the villages you visit. Do not bargain aggressively with Hmong and Dao women selling handmade textiles. The embroidered fabrics and woven goods you see at the Sapa market represent dozens or hundreds of hours of skilled craft. The prices asked are already modest by any international comparison. Negotiating them to the lowest possible number communicates that the maker's work has no value. Pay fairly. Do not give candy, money, or individual gifts to village children who approach you on the trail. This feels kind but creates incentives that pull children out of school. If you want to support children in Highland, Vietnam, donate to verify local education funds or bring school supplies to hand directly to community teachers. Always ask before photographing people in Highland villages. Kho Mung, Dao, and Tay community members are not living exhibits. Some welcome photography warmly, others do not. A simple gestured question mime, raising a camera, point to the person, raise your eyebrows is universally understood. Respect the answer. 13 things plus the Sapa bonus that every traveler should know before arriving in Vietnam. None of them complicated. All of them rooted in the same principle. Come with respect, come with curiosity, and let Vietnam be itself. If you are planning a trek through the Sapa rice terraces, a homestay in an ethnic minority village, or a multi-day cultural immersion in the Northern Highlands, subscribe to Trekking Tour Sapa for honest, local-first content from the ground. Share this video with anyone planning a Vietnam trip. It might save them from at least one avoidable mistake. And leave your question in the comments below. I read every one of them, and many become future videos. See you on the trails.